Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I have another flip through video for you, and this is a journal that is an autumn themed journal. I am unsure if I am going to be listing this one in my Etsy shop or not. I really like it, and I'm thinking I may just keep this one for myself, but I am on the fence. If you are interested in it and you would like to see it up in my Etsy store, then just comment down below. So this is made from a vintage book cover, and I left the book cover mostly undecorated. I did add some fabric layered to the top of it, and this is from a vintage National Geographic magazine, and I just decoupaged over it, so it kind of took a little bit of the gloss off. This is a little frame that I made by decoupaging a napkin, and then I painted over top of it, and it gave it this really pretty kind of bronzed, antique bronzed look to it. And then I painted this as well. And then I put a little quote on here, "And all at once summer collapsed into fall," by Oscar Wilde. So this is the Englishman's Countryside, and this is the original spine. Some vintage tatting up here. And in the back, I just added this little wooden maple leaf that I painted. The spine has this beautiful gold-plated leaf on a chain through an eyelet here, and I did not make this removable. I didn't think it would get in the way too much, just being this one little thing here. You could always detach one of these little links and take it off if you really wanted to, or I could, if the purchaser would like, I could possibly add a lobster claw to that so that it does not have to stay on there. But I did get this in Vermont yard sailing, and this was in one of my thrift hauls. It is tied together with this really pretty kind of muted gold toned ribbon here, which is attached to the cover with eyelets. And if I can find the end here, we can open it up. Lots of sewing in this journal, lots of vintage papers, ephemeras, and some coffee dyed papers and ephemeras. So this is what it looks like opened up. We've got some, I printed out a little Ex Libris card here and just pasted it to the inside. I did not put any new bookend papers on this. I did leave the original, so I didn't want this to be plain from where I put in my signature, so I did stamp this with gold paint over the top of it to make it a little more autumn-esque. So this first little lace pocket here, I have a bookmark that I made here, just pretty simple. Autumn is the mellower season, and what we lose in flowers we more than gain in fruits. Samuel Butler. And then this adorable little children's book page with a little chipmunk and a hedgehog. This is a coffee dyed printed paper that I made into a pocket, and there is an adorable little card in here. This is plain. You can write in that, send it to somebody, or use it as journaling space. Lots of lovely heavy dyed coffee pages. Heavily coffee dyed pages, I should say. I absolutely love how these came out. Some stickers. And I did not trim the strings. I kind of liked how rough and wild it looked, kind of like it belongs in the forest, in the autumn forest. And there's lots of stamping in here as well, some little hair here. And then in this pocket, I have included a book page from the original book, the Englishman's Countryside book. And this is the kitchen garden in October, so an autumn themed photo there. And then this is from a vintage calendar, 1991, and it is written on. This was in a book. And then this is from Enosburg Center in Vermont, and I am from Vermont. And this is a beautiful fall foliage photo of a church from that calendar. Lots of autumn leaves, silk leaves sewn in here. Some of them I did make into pockets. Here's a little pocket made with that same kind of crushed velvet from the front and some vintage lace. I do have some printouts from the, oh, is it Calico Collage? And I made some tags and stuff out of those. And then this is just a little vintage card there. And then here's another journaling card that I made. And some music paper. We've got some pretty autumn themed tissue paper in here. This is from that crochet pattern making book that I had. Some of these leaves I did coffee dye a little bit. Some of them came out better than others. Some stamped lines here and a little mushroom. This beautiful gold tone paper that I hinged with some of that velvet. And this just opens up for more writing space. Some more stamping and some vintage lace. Another page from that adorable little children's book. Some stenciled leaves. Stamping. This is a book page from The Tale of Squirrel Nutkin. And there's some lace on that one. Cute little fox here. And then this came out from a vintage encyclopedia type page. And it's just got this really pretty kind of autumn images. I absolutely love this and I didn't want to cut it up. It's just so pretty. Very majestic. And some stamping with the journaling behind there. Stickers. Other side of that book page. This is just a flip out. This is some hemming that I had and I sewed into a ruffle on the side here. And this is a little journaling tag that I made with the cutout from that children's book with this little chipmunk. He's absolutely adorable. This is a little kind of note card to send in the mail. Little autumn scene with this possum and butterfly, the oak trees. Just clipped on there with a bulldog clip. Here's the other side of that autumn paper. Tissue paper. Love this page, just the layering. More lace, more heavily coffee dyed paper. And then this was a little fabric snippet type roll that I made with all of these different kind of autumn colored and patterned fabrics with some vintage trim there. Stenciling. And this is just a 2 signature book. This is the first signature. We're coming into the second signature now. Music pages. There's another page from that Squirrel Nutkin book. Adorable images from that book. Some really pretty vintage lacy trim. Squirrel here. This is kind of a different textured paper. This is kind of almost like construction paper, but almost like with a fabric-y kind of feel, and I coffee dyed it as well. And then this was a printout that I found for free from an online royalty-free photos website, and I coffee dyed it as well, or stamped it. Did I stamp it? Yes, I think I wet inked it with a block. Tree, some more tissue paper, some more trim that I just kind of ruffled on the edge there. From a vintage biology book from the 60s. It's got the leaves on it. I liked that. Somebody had colored on the page a little bit, but you can collage over that, or I could collage over that if I decide to keep it. And here, I just made a little extra journaling spot out of an old manila envelope that I coffee dyed. And this I made out of some coffee dyed construction paper. And then on this side, I just have some extra writing paper that I just put mushroom stamp on. Some parchment paper that I got in a package that she had stamped. Love it, it's so pretty. I think it's lavender. Another little pocket made out of that same green trim. And here's another journaling card that I made out of a vintage gardening book page. And this is from a almost antique children's book about birds. Some trim on there. There's a little pocket I made out of a piece of that children's book. And I tucked in there an envelope I made out of a piece of that biology book. And in there, I added some extra kind of fall colored stickers and a little piece of floral paper, along with a nice inked up paper doily. Little bird there. More of that heavily coffee dyed paper that I absolutely love. You can still kind of smell the coffee. And you can see here where some of the leaves made good little tuck spots when I sewed them. And here's another little tag. Page from a vintage book. Every leaf speaks bliss to me, fluttering from the autumn tree. And here, this is not forest themed, but it is autumn themed. I included some vintage recipes from a seasonal recipe book, and these are for the fall. I've got some pies in here. Some caramel sauced apple pecan pie. That sounds delicious. And I thought that would be fun to have in there. Cute little hedgehog. Some more pretty lace trims. Here's another piece of snippet roll that I made with some lace on it. Just adds so much fun texture and depth to the book. Pretty crocodile. Sticker there. Here's another tuck spot made with that leaf, and I've just included a postcard here that had some foliage on it. And that is blank on the back. Little pocket here I made, and this one says, "Listen, the wind is rising and the air is wild with leaves. We have had our summer evenings, now for October eves." Little tag in here. This one says, "I would rather sit on a pumpkin and have it all to myself than be crowded on a velvet cushion." There's the other side of that squirrel napkin page. I created a little tuck spot here. A little mushroom tag. And this is just painted over, and you can write on this. This was kind of like a, it's just an opaque white paint. This is a real leaf, so you need to be careful with this one, but I like how it dried. It's still kind of somewhat flexible. It's not like super brittle. And then this was another piece, this was another recipe that I got from a vintage recipe book that came from like an old Women's Day magazine, and it was an autumn vegetable salad, and I thought that would be fun to include in there. I tucked it up in these leaves. Little mushroom stamp here. And then this was from a card, a greeting card that I had thrifted. And I tucked in here this beautiful picture from one of the Career Knives books that I had. And I believe this was like Autumn on the Homestead, I believe is what this one was called. And you can use that to write on or whatever you like. That just tucks back in there. And that is my Autumn Forest journal. I am super happy with this, how it turned out. And like I said, I'm not sure if this one is going to make it into my Etsy shop or not. I may be keeping it and then maybe make another one similar to it. I do have some more green colored vintage book covers that I could use, and I do still have some more leaves and some of the other items that I use throughout here, some of the fabrics and everything. But yeah, let me know what you thought down in the comments below. Let me know if there was something that you would like to see, any suggestions for journals that I could make, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.